This is the American Liberty Radio Network. Email us at americanlibertyradio@usa.com. American Liberty Radio Network. Sharing the truth one fact at a time, without all the BS. Hey, folks. How you doing? This is the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast for the 21st of November 2014. How y'all doing this morning? It's Friday here on this side of the continent, on this side of the world. So if you're listening to me in Pakistan, that's what it is right now. If you're listening to me in England, it's nighttime over there. I don't know what time it is over there, but it's wonderful to wake up and to put your feet on the floor and stand up and realize, hey, I got another day. You know, it's just really grateful. I'm really, really grateful to be able to wake up every morning. You know, and we all don't have, you know, we're not bright-eyed and bushy-tailed in the morning, are we? No, we're, you know, rubbing sleep out of our eyes and, you know, thinking, I gotta go, coffee, I need coffee, you know. So, but we're grateful for what we do. We're grateful for the people around us. And that's something, you may not like your family, you know, but you didn't choose them, you know, and they didn't choose you, but their blood and their family, and so you may disagree with them most of the time, but they're your family, you know. So that's something to think about as well. But you know, when you look at yourself in the mirror, just wipe off the slate for that day and just, or you know, from yesterday, and just say, what are we going to do today? You know, how are we going to do this? Somebody told me once that if you write down 6 things daily of what you're going to do when you wake up, and if you don't get them all done, just take the ones you didn't get done and put them on the next day and find other things to do. I do want to say that, you know, I've been hearing a lot of positive affirmations, a lot of, you know, encouragement, a lot of quote-unquote self-help type, you know, ideologies. And I think to myself, and I've studied many areas of the so-called self-help, you know, type of ideologies, and I have to admit a lot of them are great, but what is not talked about is the variables in life that are involved. Yeah, you can be as positive and as uplifting, and as you go out and you're very, you know, you're all this, you're pumped up on this you know, thought of, yeah, my day's going to be great, and you're just pumping yourself up. Well, you know, you might be traveling to work and get into an accident. That's a variable. You might get a phone call at work that your kid just went to the hospital from school because he, you know, fell down or something. So, you know, so you have to really think about the variables in life, and you really have to think about where you're standing when these things happen. Where are you? Who are you? What are you? You know, so I mean, there's a lot of that going on as well, and I see that. And, you know, I'm not one to sit here and be like a Tony Robbins type person, and I'm not one to be, you know, Larry Wingate or anybody like that, but I'm here to give you reality. I'm here to show, yes, all of that is very, very positive, but you also have to look at the variables in life, you know, and you also have to look at these things that could cause many different things to happen. You may have your day planned out, but something may happen that might throw a curveball in there, and you might have to change a few things. So, you know, and that's okay. And then we use that old adage, oh, go with the flow, you know. You know, so, hey, I just wanted to start it out like that and just say I'm really grateful for people listening. for people, and it's, you are a key part of why I do what I do. So I need to hear from you so that I know that you hear what I'm saying. So please email me, okay? Yeah, please email me. Here's an email address, freeamericaradio@unseen.is. freeamericaradio@unseen.is. And send me what you have, and if you have any thoughts or comments or concerns or questions, hey, no question is off limits. Ask me anything you like. If I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know. If you disagree with me, send me information as to why you disagree with me. That kind of thing. freeamericaradio@unseen.is. That's freeamericaradio@unseen.is. I'll be back right after this.
Hey there, I'm Big Tiny. I'm the host of Big Tiny's Oldies and More. And we're playing music that you just love to hear from the 50s to the 90s. So check us out Monday through Friday and see what we're playing right here on Spreaker.com.
And will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
So help you God.
So help me God.
Damn politicians. My mother always told me this country would be screwed if the liberals had their way. The only sanity I get is when I listen to Jeff Wagner on the Conservative Voice, only on the Conservative Radio Network.
This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce, and I want to tell you of a DVD that I have watched. It's a very interesting one. It's a film by Alex Jones. It's called Endgame, Blueprint for Global Enslavement. For the New World Order, a world government is just a beginning. Once in place, they can engage their plan to exterminate 80% of the world's population while enabling the quote-unquote elites to live forever with the aid of advanced technology. For the first time, crusading filmmaker Alex Jones reveals their secret plan for humanity's extermination. Operation Endgame. That's Endgame by Alex Jones. Get it at Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.com. Hey, welcome back, folks. Welcome back. This is Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast on the 21st of November, 2014. Lots of things going on, and we have to be positive that we can get through these things. We can plan things out. We can sit down and talk to our families and talk about our vacations and say, what are we going to do here, there, and everywhere? But we have to understand that there are variables involved. We have to understand that there's these things that may happen that we never saw coming. I dovetail that into this thing happening in Ferguson. Now, within a matter of weeks, when we hear about this immigration talk, about what, I didn't see the president's speech last night, but he basically says, hey, you're here and we're going to give you amnesty. And basically, he opened up the gates, he opened up the borders, he just said, let them through, we'll get them here, and then at a certain time, we'll just, give them all amnesty and, bits and pieces here and there, right? But he coincided that announcement, that speech, with the verdict that should be coming out today or sometime this week or next week about the Darren Wilson verdict, with the Mike Brown, Ferguson, Missouri verdict. And facts are facts, folks, and the facts have come out that this Michael Brown was a thug. Okay, period. That's all he was. It's sad that somebody had to lose their life. I'm totally with people on that end of it. But this person was a complete and utter thug. Because coroners, the coroner's report and everything else and all the witnesses and everything else were saying that, yes, he was a complete and utter thug. That's what he was. As far as I have seen, and the evidence that has been presented not only in the state-run media but also in the independent media, I can tell you right now that Michael Brown was as guilty as sin. I mean, just with the evidence that is out there, combining both the state-run mainstream media and the independent media, Michael Brown is guilty as sin. He got what he got. Okay? This whole thing has been set up with different groups coming in, you know, and all of this coming in there, and you know you can go check it out yourself. There's so many different co-opted groups going in there to stir the pot of racism, to stir the pot in terms of if this guy is not convicted and thrown in jail and given the death sentence, there's going to be riots. If he's acquitted of any charges, there's going to be riots. Okay? I mean, it doesn't matter. This is a situation, and even 25 miles away from the town, their DHS has brought in all their police, all their military equipment, all of that to do one thing and one thing only: suppress freedom. Suppress freedom is their goal. And, there's going to be, I know for a fact there's going to be independent media there. I know for a fact there's going to be mainstream media there. But the mainstream is going to spin it to their degree to please their investors, which is the corporations. And the independent media is going to be there to give the truth and the facts that nobody else will ever give you. And so there's going to be different, things going on. And that's what I wanted to talk about, or have talked about before, by talking about variables. Okay? The variables involved. You can go there with a plan. You can go anywhere with a plan. But in that situation, something may happen that may throw your plans out the window. Okay? Just absolutely throw it out the window. Okay? And so you'll have to come up with another plan on the fly. You'll just be right there and, all that. But here's the thing. You have to understand the culture in that area. Okay? You have to understand the culture in that area. Because if you look at your towns and you look at your little townships and you look at the areas around where you live and you go there, you're going to find a whole different type of feel to the city, to the towns, to the little, 200 or 100, populations. You're going to find a whole different mindset of, you're going to see a difference in attitude. You've got the little towns, 200, 300, 400, 1,000 people, whatever it is, and the big cities, which are, miles away, which have maybe hundreds of thousands of people. It's going to be a total different mindset. So you go to a little town. I don't know what the population is in Ferguson, Missouri, but I can tell you, it's a different mindset than St. Louis. Okay. It's a different mindset than another state, So you've got that variable to play with. And you got people's attitudes. And you've got, all sorts of things to look at before you even venture into that direction. Okay? So you have all that. The one thing that I see coming out of this is nothing good. I don't see anything good coming out of this. Now, I don't care. You can have people like Rush Limbaugh or Glenn Beck or anybody else saying, well, when the dust clears, things will get better. I don't think so. Although I could be wrong, and I hope I am, but I don't think so. I really, really don't think so. I think I think it's people's attitudes. I think I think the outside of that town, the people, the mainstream media, the other variables involved are feeding into that situation and are turning it into a powder keg unnecessarily. In other words, all these other groups, these co-opted groups and this, that, and the other thing, and all these other groups that want to come in and stir the racial pot, this is the powder keg I'm talking about. So how do you stop it? How do you just put the brakes on all of this? Well, you don't take away the people's rights. That's number one. Number two, and I'm only suggesting these things. People can do whatever they want. But number two, you tell the media, you tell the truth, you tell it the way that it has to be told. Do not spin it to please your damn investors. You tell it like it is. And they're not going to do that, of course. But they're the ones who are facilitating the uprising. You've got the powder keg of the attitudes and all of that and all these co-opted groups, and then you have the media lighting the fuse of it by stating what they state. The independent media is saying, no, don't do that. Don't light that keg, and the independent media is showing you, and alternative media is showing you exactly what's going on, behind the backs of the mainstream media that aren't telling you the truth anyway. So, what do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? It's a freaking powder keg ready to go off, man. And the media is lighting the fuse of this thing. So it really is something that you have to take a look at, and a lot of these things you can possibly, and I could be wrong in this, you could possibly make it all go away by taking the element that caused all of this out of it. You know what that is? Well, not only Darren Wilson, the officer, I think he's going to resign or whatever. But that's one element. But the main element you want to take out of this? Race. Just take it out. Just take it out. Take out race. But you can't, because there's one dominating factor in this that is causing this to be what it is, and that's race. You have to take it out, but you can't, because now, the media, the state-run media, has spun it to its own design, or by its own design, to its own end. And they're the ones lighting this powder keg about ready to go off. So, and that's what I see with all the evidence that's out there, with everything that is currently out there right now. That is what I see. And for goodness sakes, I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I hope I'm wrong. I don't think I am, but I hope I am. I know that sounded contradictory, right? Let's just say this. I hope I'm wrong about what I just said. I'll make that plain and clear. I hope I'm wrong. And if I am, great. But with the evidence that's out there right now, and you guys can take a look at this too, I don't think I am. Okay? To be brutally honest with you, I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. So, anyway, I'm going to go a little break, a little tiny break, little short break, get the picture. I'm going to take a break. Okay? You can email me at freeamericaradio@unseen.is, freeamericaradio@unseen.is. Check that out. Put in the subject line radio so I know you heard this show, please. Thank you very much. You can also go to AmericanLibertyRadio.wix, that's Wix.com/ALR network for more information, even if you want to sponsor this show, you can do that. Hey, that's great. Awesome. Thank you very much. You can also donate if you'd like. That's kind of cool. So thank you. I appreciate it. I'll be back. Don't go away. I got more stuff, more things to talk about. And, hey, stick around. You might learn something. I'll be back right after this. Chris Ann Hall, Liberty's lobbyist. Go to Chris Ann Hall, KrisAnnehall.com, KrisAnnHall.com. How far down the rabbit hole do you want to go? Listen to Ashley Jones on the Red Pill Radio Show on AlternativeCurrentRadio.com.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a new world order, a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be.
Those who will learn nothing from history are condemned to repeat it. This we are doing in the Americas today.
We have a real chance at this new world order.
The affirmative task we have now is to actually create a new world order.
Hey, folks, welcome back. This is the Wayne Spear Show podcast for the 21st of November 2014. How are ya? You good? Awesome. Man, let's get into some news, shall we? What's been going on around the U.S. after this whole immigration speech, which I didn't hear? Okay, no, I'm not even going to give you my opinion on it because I didn't hear it. So, you know, but I will go here and tell you what some of the news is saying about it. appnews.myway.com. I will put this on the Wayne S. Pierce Show Facebook page if you would like to go there and read it. It's incredible, folks. It is really, really incredible when you have someone like the president. He says he's not an emperor or a king, but he's sure acting like it, didn't he? appnews.myway.com is up on this link is up on the Wayne S. Pierce Show Facebook page. Obama spurns GOP with the expansive immigration orders. This was yesterday. Julie Pace over there at myway.com. Thank you. Spurning furious Republicans, President Barack Obama unveiled expansive executive actions on immigration Thursday night to spare nearly 5 million people in the U.S. illegally from deportation and refocus enforcement efforts on quote-unquote felonies, not families. The moves, affecting mostly parents and young people, mark the most sweeping changes to the nation's fractured immigration laws in nearly 3 decades and set off a fierce fight with Republicans over the limits of presidential power. Let me interject something. Remember 1986 with Reagan being in office, and he, just signed on the dotted line and gave, 11 million, or it was a lot more later on. I think it was somewhere close to about 20 million illegal immigrants amnesty. Just, there you go. Boom, they're here. And so Reagan did that, folks. Okay. And they were questioning his power as well. He just, Reagan had a pen, and a bully pulpit, and he just said, this is what we're going to do. Yeah, he had nice words, and he pumped a lot of people up, but he, did a lot of things that weren't really all that great, Don't get me wrong. He had 2 terms, and he did, a lot of things, but behind the scenes, he had to compromise a lot. And but he was just a puppet like all the presidents are. So it doesn't, it's not that the face that you see on TV is not the person running the show. Congress is running the show. Well, in this case, Obama's running the show because Congress is irrelevant. So there you go. Continuing. In a televised address to the nation, Obama defended the legality of his actions and challenged GOP lawmakers to focus their energy not on blocking his actions, but on approving long-stalled legislation to take its place. Quote, to those members of Congress who question my authority to make our immigration system work better or question the wisdom of me acting where Congress has failed, I have one answer: pass a bill, Obama said, flexing his presidential power just 2 weeks after his political standing was challenged in the midterm elections. As Obama addressed the nation from the White House, immigration supporters with American flags draped over their shoulders marched on the street outside carrying signs that read, Gracias, Presidente Obama. Despite Obama's challenge to Republicans to pass a broader immigration bill, his actions and the angry GOP response could largely stamp out prospects for Congress passing comprehensive legislation under the current administration, ensuring that the contentious debate will carry on into the 2016 presidential campaign. Republicans, emboldened by their sweeping victories in the midterms, are weighing responses to the president's actions that include lawsuits, a government shutdown, and, in rare instances, even impeachment. Quote, the president will come to regret the chapter of history. Let me say this again. Quote, the president will come to regret the chapter history writes if he does not move forward, unquote, Senator Mitch McConnell, the Kentucky Republican who is soon to become the Senate Majority Leader, said before Obama's address. House Speaker John Boehner, Republican of Ohio, who has refused to have his members vote on broad immigration legislation passed by the Senate last year, said Obama's decision to go it alone, quote, cemented his legacy of lawlessness and squandered what little credibility he had left, unquote. The president spent months trying to gain a House vote on the Senate bill, frustrating immigration advocates and some Democrats who wanted him to instead take action on his own. While Obama had long insisted that his powers to halt deportation were limited, the White House began seriously exploring options for unilateral action. Let me break that down into meat and potatoes, folks. While Obama had long insisted that his powers to halt deportations were limited, the White House began seriously exploring options for unilateral action. Well, he's head of the White House. And people were stopping him, and like it says here, long insisted that his powers to halt deportations were limited, which literally, in my book, means they talked to him and he was, pushing against their suggestions. He was saying, no, I'm going to do it myself. No, this is what I'm going to do. And they're going, no. He's long insisted. In other words, he's insisted. He's pounded his fist on the Oval Office desk and said, no, I'm going to have it my way. And they're going, no, you're not. And so it says the White House began seriously exploring options for unilateral action. He's going to do it without Congress, folks. He's just going to write an executive order and say, you 5 or 6 or 10 or 15 million illegal immigrants that are here now, you're illegal aliens, you're here. There, boom, there, you're done. All amnesty does is protect them from being arrested for doing something illegal. In other words, being in this country. That initially, you're in this country illegally, they can be arrested, we can send you home. That stops all that right there. When he signs that executive order and says you're good, you're here. That's it. And well, so anyway, so it's you can read the rest of the article on the Wayne S. Pierce Show Facebook page, and it's up there now. And Pat Buchanan. I was going to go to a break at the bottom of the hour. I'm going to go in about 10 minutes at 20 till, excuse me. Pat Buchanan wrote a piece for WND, World Net Daily. And the headline is, The Imperial Presidency, Caesar Obama, Pat Buchanan, Amnesty will make U.S. a third world country of BHO's dreams. That's exactly what he wants to do. He wants to turn the United States into a third world country. Asserting a legal and constitutional authority he himself said he did not have, President Obama is going rogue in issuing an executive amnesty to 4 to 5 million illegal aliens. He will order the U.S. government not to enforce the laws against these 5 million and declare that they are to be exempt from deportation and granted green cards. Like I said, it's the initial, you're here illegally, we're sending you home. That stops right there when he signs this. Where did Obama get his 4 to 5 million figure? Not the 2 or 4 million or the 5 or 7 million? Nowhere in the law, but plucked out of his own mind as to what he can get away with. Barack Obama just felt it was about right. Like I said, folks, it's about 11 to 12 to 15 million people. Okay? That puts a financial burden on your paychecks because now you got to pay for them. Thus, continuing here, thus does our constitutional law professor president faithfully execute the laws of the United States he has twice swore to uphold? Our rogue president has crossed a historic line, and so has the Republic. Future presidents will cite the Obama precedent when they declare they will henceforth not enforce this or that law because of a prior commitment to some noisy constituency. Noisy constituency. You can probably take a guess as to what Pat Buchanan's talking about there. Continuing, we have just taken a monumental step away from the republicanism toward Caesarism, for this is a rule by dictate, the rejection of which sparked the American Revolution. The political, psychological, and moral effects of Obama's actions will be dramatic. Sheriffs, Border Patrol, and immigration authorities who have put their lives on the line to secure our broken borders have been made to look like fools. Resentment and cynicism over Obama's action will be deeply corrosive to all law enforcement. Businessmen who obeyed the law and refused to hire illegals, hiring Americans and legal immigrants instead. The following U.S. and state laws on taxes, wages, and withholdings also look like fools today. Obama's action makes winners of the scofflaws and hustlers. Now, that's very important to remember. Obama's action makes winners of the scofflaws and hustlers. In other words, the criminals. The criminals need to do whatever they want now. The criminals, by the way, over 20, 30 years ago, when we were fighting immigration, illegal immigration then, about 70% of the people coming over were Mexican. Now, do you know what they are? And this is on record. You can go look this up. They're other than Mexican. 70% of the people crossing the southern border are not Mexican. They're other than Mexican. They're Israeli, or not really Israeli. They're Iranian. They're Saudi Arabians. They're terrorists. Doesn't matter. Border's open. Come on in. We, the people, will take matters in our own hands and stop this. Watch. Continuing, bosses who hired illegals off the books will also receive a de facto amnesty. La Raza is celebrating, but make no mistake, a corrupt corporate crowd is also publicly relieved and privately elated. Immigrants who waited in line for years to come to America and those waiting still have egg on their faces. Why? They are saying to themselves, were we so stupid as to obey U.S. laws when it is the border jumpers who are now on the way to residency and citizenship? When the world hears of the Obama amnesty, millions more from Latin America, Africa, Asia, and the Middle East will be coming. Told you. And if they cannot get in legally, they will walk in or fly in or overstay their visas. Why not? It works. That this action will be as much a part of Obama's legacy as Obamacare is certain. The unanswered question is how the Obama amnesty will be remembered in history. His aides think that it will be seen as a second Emancipation Proclamation. Perhaps. But with this amnesty, Obama takes custody of and responsibility for the entire illegal population. He is the patron saint of illegal aliens. And for what they do, he will be held accountable, as was Jimmy Carter for the Marielitos Castro sent and Carter welcomed. Marielitos. Yeah, that's the one. If the amnestied illegals contribute to the drug trade and violent crime, that will be Obama's legacy in this country. If they turn up disproportionately on the welfare rolls, exploding state and federal deficits, that will be Obama's legacy. If this amnesty is followed by a new invasion across the border America cannot control, that too will be Obama's gift to his countrymen. One wonders, will poor and working class blacks and whites, Hispanics and Asians welcome this unleashed competition from the amnesty to illegals for jobs where the wages never seem to rise? Folks, let me interject something here. If you have more human resources for jobs, wages go down because the unskilled get the low wages. The ones that happen to get the better jobs are the ones that are educated and the more skilled at what they do. Okay? So, what's going to happen? You're going to have less skilled openings and more unskilled openings, and more of those are going to be part-time. So nobody's going to be able to afford anything. You might have been working at your job for 15 years, and your boss will come in and say, well, you know, in the last 15 years we've had a good run, but now certain things, my premiums have gone up to cover you for your health care. This has gone up. My insurance around here has gone up. We're going to have to cut your time here. Instead of working 80 hours, I'm going to cut you back to 55. Which means it lowers your pay, folks. Okay? And that's not good for you and your household. So in other words, you just went from full-time 40 hours a week to about 27 hours a week. That's not good. And you watch. Your boss will start hiring part-time workers in terms to do the work, to take up the slack, really. That and your boss may give you an extra day off. Hey, take Friday off. Come in, work, 32 hours, whatever it is, and take Friday off. But then Friday, when you go in to pick up your check, you'll see illegal aliens working your job. You see what I mean? Because he's paying them less. And sooner or later, over the months, and I've seen this happen, and you can go look at it, it's on record, the more people that you hire part-time, the full-time people that have been there for years or whatever it was, will slowly get pushed out the door. I've seen it, folks. I've seen it. You can go look this up, too. The data's out there. Go check it out. Continuing with this article from WND written by Pat Buchanan. In the 4 decades before JFK, the nation had a pause in legal immigration. During that pause, the Germans, the Irish, the Italians, the Jews, the Poles, The Greeks and Slav immigrants who had come here from 1890 to 1920 and their children and grandchildren were fully assimilated. They had become not only U.S. citizens but also identifiably American. The melting pot had worked. We had become one nation and one people, almost all speaking the same language and steeped in the same history, heroes, culture, literature, and faiths. Today, in 2014, after an influx of perhaps 50 million in 50 years, legal and illegal, no longer from Northwest Europe or Europe at all, but Latin America, Africa, Asia, and Middle East, of every race, color, creed, culture, and language, we seem less a nation than some mammoth mall of America, an economy, but not a country. Running in 2008, Obama said he intended to become a transformational president. With this decision, he succeeds. He has accelerated and ensured the remaking of America. Now, when the wives and the children of the illegals arrive and their extended families apply for and receive visas and bring their wives and children, we will become the third world country of Obama's dream. No more a Western nation. But then, the community organizer did not much like that old America. This is true, folks. This is absolutely 100% true. I'm going to go to break. I'll be right back. Don't go away. Email me at freeamericaradio@unseen.is. Come listen to The Views Expressed live at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on the American Liberty Radio Network. The Pete Santilli Show on the Guerrilla Media Network, telling you the truth, whether you like it or not. GuerrillaMediaNetwork.com. Hey, folks, welcome back. This is the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast for the 21st of November, 2014. We got a little bit of time left here for the show. Yes, if you want to email me, no question is off limits. Ask me anything you like. If I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know. It's that simple. Free America Radio at unseen.is. Free America Radio at unseen.is. You can also go to the website for this show, and I'll give you two websites, so please pay attention. The main website for this show is thewaynespearceshow.weebly.com. thewaynespearceshow.weebly.com. That's the main site. I'm working on it, so there's a backup site. This is a long one, folks. Please write this down if you would. AmericanLibertyRadio.wix, that's wix.com/ALR network. That's AmericanLibertyRadio.wix.com/ALR network. So that's the backup site I'm currently using. So anyway, donate if you can, help out the network. Let's take it to the next level. All right, so thank you for your support. There's a store there. There's a, there's on the WayneSPearShow.weebly.com site. There's a store. There's all of that, and you can donate. You can sponsor this show if you like. I'm not out to break your advertising budget, and that's the way I like it. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, just ask. Free America Radio at unseen.is. Free America Radio at unseen.is. So, where do we go from here? Okay, well, let's stay with some of the headlines, shall we? So, about this immigration thing, let's stay on this for a little bit. The Washington Post is reporting, for millions of illegal immigrants, a mix of celebration and deep disappointment. Paula Constable and Hernandez wrote this. Maria Martinez clutched her 8-year-old son Rene's hand and fingered her rosary beads, listening intently Thursday night as President Obama announced his plan to shield several million illegal immigrants from deportation. All around her, people in the basement room of the Casa de Maryland headquarters in Hyattsville, Maryland, were clapping and cheering. But Martinez, 33, a housekeeper from El Salvador, was quietly absorbing the magnitude of what had just happened and how it would change her life. The fear is over, Martinez said tearfully. All I can think about is what I'm going to tell the kids. For 9 years, Martinez has not seen her 2 older children, whom she left behind in El Salvador to join her husband in the United States. Now, the president had just announced that parents of children like Rene, who was born in this country, could apply for a reprieve from deportation. Martinez might finally be able to travel home and return legally to the United States. Across the Washington region and the nation, illegal immigrants celebrated as the president announced that 3.7 million parents of U.S.-born and resident children, as well as 1 million or more undocumented immigrants who arrived as children, would have a path to receive work permits, drive, and conduct illegal transactions. There are also scenes of deep disappointment, especially among groups of Latina women known as Dreamer Moms, whose children were among the 600,000 legalized by Obama in the 2012 program, but were not included in this new action as grounds for legalizing parents. Quote, "It's a small bandage for a large wound," unquote, said Maria Reyes, 68, an illegal immigrant from Mexico who lives near Oakland, California. She was waiting outside the White House on Thursday evening after fasting there for several days, although her 2 children were granted deportation relief through 2012. Quote, "Deferred action for children for childhood arrivals," unquote, program. They will not be able to confer legal status on her. There were also several million illegal immigrants who never stood a chance of the reprieve under Obama's plan, especially adult men who left their families behind and came to work in the United States illegally. Some Central Americans obtained temporary protection as war refugees. Independent media has been talking about that all the time. They in Mexico, they teach these people how to get across the border and what to say and how to get in here. War refugees? There's no war going on. The war is the drug cartels against the people in Mexico. War refugees? Let me continue. But many could not convert that to permanent legal status, while Mexicans, the great majority of the undocumented immigrants, had no such benefit. Okay? Mario Juarez, 40, a painter from Honduras, spent Thursday in a parking lot in Arlington, Virginia, hoping a contractor would come along in a van to offer him a day's wages. Around him were a dozen other men in thick jackets and scuffed work boots, many of whom had been working in the United States for years, and yet they had no hope of deportation relief. Quote, "I'm happy for all those families who will be able to stay together now, but there are a lot of guys like me who came with the same dream. Now we're being left out," unquote, said Juarez, who has spent the last 12 years working odd construction jobs and sending money back home to his wife and 3 children. Nonetheless, the mood in many Latino communities Thursday night was one of enormous relief. People who gathered in churches, nonprofit agencies, and social halls to watch the speech cheered, hugged one another, and chanted "Viva Obama," or "Si se puedo," meaning "yes, we could." In Chicago, Doris Aguirre sat in the front row of the Lincoln United Methodist Church with her daughter, who's 13, at her feet as they looked up at Obama on the big screen. The president's words meant that because of, I don't know how to pronounce her daughter's name, a U.S. citizen born in Chicago, her mother has a chance to remain in the country legally after nearly 15 years as an undocumented immigrant. Quote, "I'm still trying to process all this, but I'm optimistic. I think everything is going to get better for us. I hope I qualify because I think I deserve it," she said. Aguirre came from Honduras in 2000, traveling for 10 days while still breastfeeding her 5-month-old son, Vladimir, Bladimir, now 15 and also an illegal immigrant. She said U.S. Border Patrol agents picked her up in Texas but gave her a bus ticket to Chicago where she had relatives. There she met Roberto Aguirre, 68, a Mexican immigrant worker who had been a U.S. citizen in the 80s. When they went to apply for a marriage license, they discovered that there was a deportation order outstanding for Aguirre and Vladimir. They have been living in the shadows ever since. Quote, "It's been so hard. We lost our house, we lost everything because I have never been able to work and we don't have enough money. But now it's like everything has changed. It's like all my dreams have come true. We came here to make a life, and now maybe I can," she said. Aguirre said she hoped that she could now apply for a driver's license, get a job, and not be afraid of being deported every time she leaves the house. She said people who think Obama is rewarding lawbreakers don't understand the misery she faced in Honduras. She says she is only guilty of trying to help her family. Quote, "God bless that law that I broke because it got me here. I will never regret breaking that law," she said. In Las Vegas, people gathered at the Hermandad Mexicana Nacional Community Center to watch the speech. Lorena Palos was there, even though she had originally planned to be at the Latin Grammys, walking the red carpet and hobnobbing with celebrities. She had picked out a pink gown to wear, but put it back in her closet when she heard that Obama would speak Thursday evening. Palos, 18, was born in Mexico and was granted deferred action 2 years ago. Her brother is a U.S. citizen and her parents are undocumented. Quote, "I knew I didn't want to miss this. We have been fighting for this for a long time. It's not right to say that I'll find out about this later for something so big," she said. She texted her parents during the speech. "It's a weight lifted off our shoulders," she said. "I don't think there could be a more historic moment. This is a moment that will live forever in the immigrant community," unquote. I want to say this, and I'm going to make this perfectly clear. I am for legal immigration, period. I'm for legal immigration. The laws on the books have to be followed, period. I don't know why people aren't. But here we have many, many people, and you can go look at Central America, Honduras, and El Salvador and all that, and look at all the problems there. You can look at the drug cartels in Mexico and all this. And they're rioting in Mexico City as we speak. Because, not rioting, I shouldn't. They're protesting against the Mexican government for not following up on trying to find those missing children. That you've heard that news, right? So they've been in the streets in Mexico City yelling and screaming and doing all that. But the thing is that people come here for a better life, which when has it happened for them? When has a better life happened for them? I mean, this one woman says that she doesn't regret breaking the law, and now she has a chance of being, not having to worry about getting deported. Okay? Like I said, amnesty, when he signs that thing, that executive action or executive order or whatever it is, he's just saying, don't deport them. We will not grab you and send you back home. That's what I'm saying. Now you can be here legally. You can be here legally. You're not a citizen. You're still undocumented. But once, that happens, then you can work, you can live without fear of being deported. Now, how do these immigrants make it? How do these people make it? When you and I and, upwards to 95 million Americans are unemployed or off the unemployment rolls, how are they going to get work if we can't find it? Well, here's the thing. Corporations don't give a crap about the American citizen, you and I. Because we want a living wage. We want to be able to pay the rent. We want to be able to pay the bills. We want to be able to do what we can to help our families. That's what we want. We want to be able to eat every day. We don't want to sit there and have, grandma and grandpa and mom and dad and the kids and their kids all within one house like, these Mexicans do sometimes. Not all the time, sometimes. But we want a living wage. That's what we want. Now, here is why corporations want to hire illegal aliens. They can pay them less and not have to worry about it. Yeah, they pay them less. About 30, the last figure I saw, I don't know if this is true, so you may want to go look this up, somewhere about 30 to 35% less than what you and I would get paid. If we were working, I have a warehousing background. If I was working in a warehouse and making $15 an hour or $12 an hour or whatever it is, you take 30% of that, and it's close to minimum wage. Okay? So 30%, what is that? A third? So yeah, it's close to it's close to minimum wage. Here in Nevada, minimum wage is $8.25, and $7.55 if you have insurance or if you're offered insurance. Okay, and yeah, it's close to that. So from $12 an hour, 30% of that is, you drop that down to $8.40. So yeah, of course, businesses want to make money, put more money in their own pockets, so they're going to pay everybody less. So that's why they like illegal immigrants. Do you know why? Because they work their asses off. We want the big money and not have to work that much for it. Well, hello, I come from a construction background too. I know what hard work is, okay? I come from a warehouse background, construction background. I used to work in kitchens, in restaurants. I know how hard, that crap is. I know, okay? So when I say I want $15 an hour, I ain't kidding. Okay? I'm not kidding, because I know it's hard work and I can do it, and I have the experience to lead people and to have a crew and all that. I understand this. But these illegal aliens that come over, now these undocumented amnestied workers that are here are going to get $8 or $9 an hour. Do I feel sorry for them? Yeah, because the companies are taking advantage of them. Of course I do. If they want to come here for a better life, yeah, they got to work at the bottom up. Of course, everybody does. But they have to understand that they're not going to get paid what we get paid. You know what I'm saying? Because they're going to be taken advantage of. Do you know what that means? When you look at the bottom line, that means they're slaves. I mean, we're all slaves to some degree, but we were born and raised here. They weren't. They're going to be treated as slaves, and they're going to be treated as second-class citizens. There you go. And there's Obama's dream, to turn the United States of America into a third world country. Period. And he's going to please his bosses that are related to and operating through the Bilderberg Group, the New World Order, the corporations that actually run the United States of America. Okay? Obama's dream. Yes, we can. Transforming America, transforming the United States of America, fundamentally transforming the United States. Yeah, into a third world country where all of us are going to be paid less and turned into slaves. Pretty much. And that's what he wants. Folks, I don't know if I'm going to have the views expressed on today. Got some things I got to take care of. But if I will, go to Free America Radio on Facebook, and more news there. And, or go to the Wayne S. Pierce Show Facebook page. I'll put it up there as well. And email me, freeamericaradio@unseen.is. That's freeamericaradio@unseen.is. Ask me any question you want. No question is off limits. If I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know. It's that simple. So, anyway, folks, have a great day. Enjoy your Friday. Enjoy your weekend. And, Just have fun and smile, okay? Yeah, email me, free, americaradio@unseen.is. Go to the WayneSPierceShow.weebly.com. Have a great day.